Welcome back. I'm Tom McIntyre, Dr. Mac of Behavioradvisor.com. Thanks for joining us. It's time to test your knowledge base regarding the consequences that we've been studying, those results, those outcomes that can follow the actions that are exhibited. Reinforcement, both positive and negative. Ignoring, or the blockage of reinforcement, and punishment, both the positive and the negative kind. Here's your first question. A student receives 2 nights of detention for not just refusing teacher directions and being non-compliant, but also uttering some rather rude commentary. This outcome to that youngster's behavior is an example of positive or negative punishment or negative reinforcement. Select your answer now. That student who received the double dose of detention, oh, how she disliked it. Oh, it was just highly embarrassing. She missed her connections with her peers after school and got in a whole lot of trouble with the family at home. So from that point on, she complied with the directions of her teachers. She used respectful language as she did so, even though she felt that those directions, those orders, were not appropriate to the situation. Her compliance is a result of one of the 2 types of punishment or one of the 2 types of reinforcement. Make your choice. We have a student who's receiving a smelly scratch sticker for each homework assignment that's submitted in the morning. The student's homework submission percentage then increases. The motivator for this increased submission of homeworks was positive punishment, one of the 2 types of reinforcement, maybe a double dose and intertwining, a double whammy of reinforcement. Select your answer now. Student gets in a fight, sent down to the headmaster's office. The teacher intends this disciplinary action to serve as what sort of consequence? Again, we won't know until after we see how the behavior plays out over the days, whether what we think we were doing was actually what was done. One type of punishment, maybe it was negative reinforcement. Make your choice now. A student is being poked, really doesn't like it at all, but doesn't do anything about it, doesn't order any stop that action or outburst. Which of this youngster's behaviors are being punished? There is punishment going on here. The student who is being poked is being punished. But what type? And could there possibly be an instance of negative reinforcement occurring here? Let's imagine another student being poked, but this student moves her chair out of reach of that prodding digit. Her scooching away action is punished in either of those 2 ways, reinforced in either of the 2 ways. An example of ignoring that student who did the poking. Which is your answer? And why? Well, over the course of a few minutes, a youngster's inappropriate behavior increases in intensity or frequency or duration, one of the dimensions of behavior. We suspect that this escalation in actions is probably being reinforced in a positive or a negative way, though. Maybe it was being ignored. Was it being punished? Could it depend on the situation which outcome applies, which of the consequences apply? And you really need more information to make your answer. What information would you want, though, if you select number 5? Make your choices now. This youngster has been belittled by the teacher before. It's happened again. The youngster gives an incorrect answer. The teacher puts the youngster down. Ricky then fails to contribute any more commentary in that classroom. His silence was strengthened and maintained by one of the types of punishment or one of the types of reinforcement. Which one do you hang your hat on? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep pestering that bully knowing he's going to do what he does to you? This apparently masochistic behavior is maintained by one of the types of punishment, one of the types of reinforcement, perhaps a mental health condition that's outlined in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the American Psychiatric Association, or perhaps the ICD, the International Classification of Diseases. Select your answer now. Well, a youngster spits and a teacher reacts to it by having that student research the topic. Write an essay on why expectoration behavior was inappropriate. The teacher's action is intended by this instructor to be, if we can get inside her head, but having somebody write an essay on a topic because they violated one of the rules or some aspect of the health and safety code. That disciplinary action is intended by the teacher to be one of the types of punishment, negative reinforcement, or busy work. Make your selection now. So, your turn. With others, why don't you discuss some real or realistic situations that would illustrate the following consequences and their effect on behaviors? What have you seen in the classroom, in the home, just being around kids that illustrate the power of positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive and negative punishment? Thanks for joining me. The answer key is next. Let's see if we agree on some of these questions we've just seen. I'm Tom McIntyre, signing off.